Welcome Exiles, this is my second character of the league. First I was using the Fireball build, but it didn't feel great, and then I saw on PoE Ninja that a lot of Blood Mages were using Spark, so I switched to that, and it felt instantly nicer. So it resolves around Choir of the Storm Amulet, which triggers the Lightning Bolt on crit, up to approximately 2 times per second. And on the video you can see it kinda looks like Herald of Thunderbolts, they come down from the sky. Also, since we crit a lot, we're using a custom crit setup where I put Arc. And Blood Mage this league is really strong, it benefits a lot from a new gem and a new G-Wall in this Abyss league. You can see I have a very high EHP pool, and I have a crazy life regeneration, it gets up to like 3k during mapping, and this also translates to energy shield regeneration once my life is full. On top of a leech from the Ascendancy. And single target DPS is also pretty nice, not the best, but way more than needed. So for Spark, you want a PS2 gem and not a PS3. That second line, it applies to all your projectiles from one cast of Spark. So once 5 projectiles have hit the target, none of your projectiles will deal damage from your Spark. At least that's how I think it works. It might be that it's per projectile basis. But when I tried both, I felt like my clear was much better with PS2, so I prefer using PS2. And then you have projectile acceleration 3, so you have a lot more projectile speed, and if you get increased projectile speed, you get a bit more damage here too. And then duration, both of these will make one cast of Spark reach further, and one cast will hit more enemies, or it will hit a single enemy multiple times. And then I use Atalui's Bloodletting, which is quite expensive, but it's very much worth it. As you can see, it doubles my total DPS. So our Spark is actually doing like half physical and half lightning damage. So keep that in mind for your gear. You don't necessarily want lightning damage increase, but spell damage is preferable. Although your lightning bolt does a lot of your damage and it's pure lightning, so I would still prefer lightning damage over physical damage, like I have here. This kills off the cost of sparks, you will get a lot more damage with it when you get a 6th link. And I wouldn't recommend getting it before you get an Undying Hate with a Tecrod roll. You get a sacrifice of blood on one of the keystones. So the more life you spend, the more you will be regenerating based on the 5 seconds. So you can see on your character sheet it goes up and up. And while mapping, this reaches like 3k or something, and the leech will help top up your life. You can also use your life flask. And for that reason, that's Blood Magic. I use Zealot's Oath, so that once my life is full, the life regen applies to my energy shield. And while you don't have Atalui Bloodletting, you should replace it with a link damage, probably something like Lightning Mastery. And for the last link, it's a bit of a personal choice. I like to use mobility for mapping, so that I am less slowed when I cast. So for Lightning Bolt, cooldown recovery and spell cascade are the most important, and then you get some damage supports like Conk Area, Deliberation. Since we don't cast it directly, we just benefit from the damage. And then Mental Focus, we can shock with Spark or the skills. I have a cast on crit with Arc in it, and then some damage nodes. So Lightning Mastery and Deliberation, and then Boundless Energy and Energy Retention so that it procs more often. I have Flame Wall, but I rarely use it. I find it tanks my FPS, and I don't think it really increases damage by much when you get Atalui's Bloodletting. But I use Fortress 2, Fire Mastery, and Duration. And Aura Storms is pretty nice, it helps with clear and with single target because we put Commiserate and Overcharge, so we're gonna reflect the shock back to us, but then it will be consumed to increase the shock effect. And then Magnified Aura so that we can have a higher area for it. And Overabundance so that we can have 2 of them at once. And not too important, but in Life Remnants from the Ascendancy, you can put how many remnants, so you can pick them up from further away and you can spawn more. And you can also use Remnant Potency, so that they're more powerful, but they apply, they have a delay to when they fill up your life. But that one is personal preference. So for the gear, you of course want a Choir of the Storm Amulet. This is level 20, which is very expensive compared to the rest. You can grab, especially when you're lower level, this requires level 78 for level 18. And then you get level 19 at 84. And once you're 90, you can try to grab 20, which will give you your last link, this socket. And also just more base damage, obviously. But it's a lot more expensive, as you can see. So start with a level 18 or 91, depending on your level. And then once you have the money, you can grab the level 20. And I allocate fast metabolism, which is somewhere here, which makes life leech not be removed when your life is full. Which means I don't use the @series acuity gloves because they make leech instant, so both of these don't work. But while you can't afford this anointment because it's super expensive, do use these gloves, they're nice. They give you some crit chance too. So that's for the amulet. For the wand and the focus, you want level to spell, especially lightning spell skills. Spell damage is nice, cast speed is very nice. You can also grab crit damage and crit chance. And lightning and physical damage are also viable options. For the boots and helmet and chest, you just want highest energy shield, max life, and your resistances you can get. Especially on your chest, you can forego max life and just go for highest energy shield you can. Because of, at least when you get this last node on your ascendancy. So this energy shield is actually giving me as much into max life. So on gloves, you can use @series acuity, as I said, but once you get this anointment, you can grab red gloves, and the best ones would be with this affix that comes from an essence that is expensive. It's like 200 exalts. And then you can buy those runes that are pretty cheap, 8% cast speed, which becomes 16, so these gloves give us 32 cast speed. And on your rings, you want max life, cast speed, rarity, if you can, and resistances. You can also get some percent damage, but it doesn't really matter. And I use a headhunter, or I don't use it in the videos I show to showcase something more attainable. You can just use a rare one instead, with max life and resistances. And about leveling in the campaign, I would suggest going Essence Drain and Contagion first, until you get your second Ascendancy at least, for the base crit chance Ascendancy node. I linked to Garafa's Fireball Mage guide, which is a very similar setup, and it shows an Essence Drain Contagion setup for leveling. But yeah, that's it for today. Have a good one, and I see you next time. Oh, and please subscribe.